Welcome to a new and very serious season of Funky Town Baseball. Just kidding. I had an interview today and now I'm done and now I can relax. I'm off today. I'm off through tomorrow, opening day. Let's talk fantasy baseball. So, no videos this off season. That's my fault, but just been busier than normal. I'll try to continue to do a video every week. Definitely that's the plan. We have some things to talk about since it's been a little while. We have already completed our keepers. We've already completed our actual draft. In between, we had an expansion draft. We're done with our supplemental draft. Now we're in the middle of our farm draft. So it's draft season. A lot of stuff's been happening. I have just finalized the schedule. We just opened up claims yesterday. So, and the first pitch is tonight. One game, San Francisco, New York. So, not everyone gets to play, but for Max Fried owners and whoever the hell is starting for San Francisco, good for you. So, we're going to get into some post-draft power rankings. I don't know if I'll really go back at this point and talk through keepers other than in my team by team analysis, which I'm about to get into. In fact, I'm so bold and polished this year that I have no fear to simply rank you all right on video. And then we will start. We're not going to start with me. I'm not. I'm not that confident. Let's start with Corey. I've asked you all to fill out this survey. 9 of you have already, I believe. I will be number 10. I'm not going to wait around for the other 4 of you slackers to do it. We're just going to look at the results as a league with the 10 results that we have. So I'm going to start with Corey. Let's look team by team and whatever inferences I can make about the keeper selections, or like opinions, not inferences. I'll spit it out as we go. So Electric Friars, one, I really like that name. I've loved the logo you have too. Fantrax does such a poor job of like blowing up the logo. It's a pretty cool logo. We have Austin Wells, Pete Alonso. Maybe I won't literally read them. You're watching the video, you can see them too. I'll zoom in though so that you have a better view. And why don't we sort this by projected season stats so that it's a little bit easier to grab context over what we're seeing. You got a lot of talent. Let me mix back and forth here between Fantrax and the actual rosters page, because the rosters pages are up to date except for your ads, and you can see ADP when we look at this. So we are in the middle of the teams who did not make playoffs last year, sure. But look at the stretch of green here for Corey's team and compare it to the left, compare it to the right. We're seeing green go pretty far down. I would say twice as much as we see for French or for Casey or for Jeremiah. Corey has a lot of ADP stars. Let's see, what is this? What's the total here? 10 players in the top 90 ADP. I think that we're starting at 3 with this. And I guess I didn't even say, but if you didn't do this, 1 is no chance at playoffs, 2 is likely to miss playoffs, 3 is bubble, 4 is playoff team, 5 is championship contender. These are the 5 tiers. That's all we get. So let's evaluate. We have what looks like a pretty nice offense, I would say. And I don't want to go so deep as to go into stat by stat with this. There will be some notes for that, I'm sure. Generally speaking, quite a few home runs. There isn't that one truly terrifying home run threat, but everyone's hitting them. Yeah, it looks really good on the runs as well. Pretty decent average floor. Right as soon as I said I wasn't going to go into the stats, that's all I do. I just like the offense. The offense is full of guys whose names you know. A few old guys thrown in for sure, but we're pretty much a 1 year to 1 year league. It's not a big deal to have older guys. I don't really care about people's bench at this point unless there's such an obvious swap or something, so I'm going to just go down to the starters. Or at this point in the season, it's probably not all your starters. It's probably just your relievers, unless you have Max Fried. relievers don't have a lot of saves. That's one thing I've noticed really early on about being a 14 team league. I mean, there's only like 20 closers that are for sure closers. We have 14 teams. If you have three closers, you're going to be dominant, I think. Holds not quite so easy since there are so many holds guys, but I mean, if you have three top 10 holds guys, well, that's probably a stupid threshold. If you have three top 10 anything, you're going to be good at it. But I'm just saying, with a deeper league, with more teams, talent dispersed more, it's going to be easier to keep a stranglehold on a few categories where there's scarcity. Stolen bases, I expect, will be kind of the same. So just a thing to note. No real comments on the relievers. Doesn't look like you have really any closers. You just have a couple holds dudes. Nothing really robust that I see there. Starting pitching, Yesavage, Tyler Malley, who, if I recall, you went really early on, which surprised me in the draft. I will say I thought too early, but he was super good last year. I just don't believe he's legitimately that good, I guess. So we will see. Rhett Lauder, Zach Eflin. I love Kyle Bradish, and Corey knows it. I've tried to get him. I traded him to him, actually. So with guys like Chris Bassett, Zach Eflin, Tyler Malley, Brian Bayo, I really don't feel comfortable with this rotation to be good. I didn't see Pivetta. I mean, Fried, Pivetta, Bradish is a good trio. I don't want to say the staff is bad, but it doesn't look good either. The offense is pretty good. I think this is a playoff team. Sorry, I'm on the wrong one. I'm seeing a playoff team. I mean, I could say bubble, but that suggests I could just as easily see them missing the playoffs as making. And frankly, that team looks pretty good, and I believe Corey has been doing a process here and will go for it this year. I think that's a playoff team. I don't see that maybe as like the top tier yet. Maybe once I've looked at everybody else, I will change my mind on that. Let's go to mini wheats. Mini wheats, Maffey. I will say I didn't love the keeper strategy because you kept 3 first basemen, and I told you this at the draft. 3 first basemen and 7 outfielders, I believe. And so when you take 3 first basemen, your implied DH spot is gone. So now you don't have 5 outfielders and a DH. You just have 5 outfielders. So you, by definition, kept 2 bench players. Not normal for what we've seen historically. I'm not saying it can't work, but it did seem inefficient when guys like Evaldi, Chapman, Jack Leiter all picked up in the expansion draft because they were presumably pretty good value contracts. I'm not saying Jack Leiter would have changed your world this year, whatever happens, but Evaldi and Chapman were pretty nice pieces. I was very surprised that you decided to let them go. I'm looking at the roster now. Let's check your team in terms of the ADP spread. A very, very concentrated group up here. Julio, Pete Crow Armstrong, Matt Olson, Rafael Devers are all top 40 guys. So having 3 top 40 guys, that's good. Riley Green at 65. Then there's a little bit of a gap. We stop really seeing green. We start seeing more like shades of yellow there. But having 6 guys to supplement your best 5, having 11 dudes in the top 140 means you're just a little bit ahead of kind of like where you should be if you are to assume top 10 players, 140 players deep. So anyway, ADP looks okay. Rutschman, Josh Smith, Joey Ortiz, Willie Castro. Rutschman shouldn't really be a part of that. Smith, Ortiz, and Castro, that concerns me quite a bit. I mean, we're talking like that is, you're not slugging anything with those 3 dudes. Your outfield is very good. Riley Green, Julio Rodriguez, Pete Crow Armstrong, pretty fucking good. 1, 2, 3, excuse me. Devers, Olson, amazing. Torkelson as a utility, quite good. So it's a mixed bag. On offense, I feel like you'll be fine. I don't see like a good offense right off the jump here. And I'm looking at your pitching, which you kept 0 pitchers. I think the first time ever, most likely, that 0 pitchers of any kind were kept, I'm assuming. You ended up getting Sandy. And you didn't have a first either, I don't think. So it was like you really doubled down on it basically. You have Sandy, an elite reliever closer. That is just one. JW saying if you have one, you have none. We'll see in a 14-team league if Palencia can't win him a couple weeks on his own. So what is it? Sandy, Kyle Harrison, Clay Holmes, Luis Morales, Ryan Pepiot, who just got hurt, Robbie Ray, Sheehan, Weathers. That's a wild ride, man. I don't see dominance on either side. I say your offense looks like it's probably going to be pretty good, but I would definitely not elite or anything. I'm stuck between two or three because I could see the pitching just really frankly being nothing, and the offense could just be okay to a little bit good. And is that enough to really be on the bubble? And I know everyone's tendency is to give everyone a favorable score, and I don't know. I think I have a suspicion that you're probably going to end up as a two for me. I'm not seeing enough to think about you as like a going to edge out these other teams, which, even though I'm doing the video now, I have looked at the other teams. Let's keep going. Let's look at Jeremiah. Got to probably do this a little bit faster. What are we at? 11 minutes already. 2 teams down. Will Smith, Jonathan Aranda, Stott, Lewis, Bogarts. That 1, 2, 3's not great. Oh, and Vaughn, Keyshaw. I was interested in drafting, though he's not an all-star yet. I don't know. Quan, pretty light on the pop. Yeah, honestly, your home runs are pretty low. You have Kyle Schwarber, which almost feels out of place now, because there's no way you're going to be an elite home run team. Your next highest home runs is 23. 28. Austin Riley. I didn't see Austin Riley on the bench. In fact, I'm not going to mess with your lineup, but Royce Lewis out, Riley in. That matters. Nonetheless, let's take a look. A lot of steals. A lot of steals. You got a weird mix of kind of high strikeout with a couple low strikeout. I'm not really sure the efficiency of that. The runs are a little bit low, and the RBIs are a little bit low. I'm not seeing the numbers to kind of strike fear in the heart of your opponents on the offensive side. Kyle Stowers being out obviously hurts. You have Jackson Merrill on the... Dude, you're tricking me. This isn't fair. How you're setting me up for failure here. You have Jacob Wilson, Jackson Merrill, and Austin Riley on the bench, and no Kyle Stowers. Okay, so let's put a little caveat on what I said. A couple of the best players are on the bench. Of course your numbers are not going to look so good. I was wondering why I was so off, because I thought you had invested in your offense quite a bit. I think that offense is going to be a middle-of-the-road offense, probably. I still, even with the inclusion of all these guys, I don't think it was enough to make me then say, wow, never mind, this offense is very good. So I'll call it middling over there. We've got Bybee, Gallen. No real big saves, guys. Just a couple holds. Boz, Cease, Chandler, Javier, Kirby, May, Mize, Fott, and Sasaki with Barrios, Cole, and Kelly on the bench. It feels deep. I'm wondering what the ceiling is. Like, what is the ceiling for the best 5 guys? May is someone I've always really liked. Boz has had potential, new home. Both of them new homes. Kirby is like my least favorite ace because he just seems easy. Not easy, but he seems hittable for an ace. Javier, Chandler, still a little unproven. Cease is definitely a little up and down. Like last year he had a 4-5 or something. I see a lot of volatility on the staff, but you have enough names that have pretty good potential that your top 5 should end up being pretty good. Reliever's not really anything to speak about. If Cease is good, you have Kirby, Cole comes back maybe for a playoff run. I think is he? Yeah, end of May. So if Cole comes back and is Garrett Cole, George Kirby is George Kirby, Cease is good Cease, and then you get two of Bybee, Gallen, Boz, May, Mize, or Roki Sasaki to be good, then I can buy that your staff could be good. I think best case I can do really is say maybe bubble because I just don't see the upside. Let's look at Brad. William Contreras, Luis Arias, Xavier Edwards looks like the. Let me check the bench first, dude. I'm not doing that again. Salvador Perez on the bench is interesting. I think he certainly should be in the lineup over Luis Arias. Oh, Arias is playing tonight. My bad. Okay, so if we talk Contreras, Salvador Perez, Xavier Edwards, Michael Garcia, Ellie De La Cruz, Alec Burleson, Witt, Langford. We got to give Bobby Witt some respect, sir. Bobby Witt does not play middle infield. Bobby Witt is a shortstop. Please do not do this again. We need Bobby Witt in your shortstop spot. I don't care if it's Ellie. It's Bobby Witt. Disrespect Ellie if you want, but not Bobby Witt. Not after the plays he made in the World Baseball Classic. Ian Happ, Noel V. Marte. The outfield feels weak. It is weak, I'll say. The infield's quite strong. I think the offense looks pretty good, solid. Sale, Framber, Luzardo, Gore, McClanahan. Big wild card with McClanahan. I'm very interested to see. I'm pulling for him. Castillo, Seymour, Lugo, Nola, Priester, Severino. I like the staff. The staff is good. I thought the staff was good already. So with a pretty good staff and a pretty good infield, the outfield does give me some pause. But I mean, if McClanahan is anything like he used to be, Sale, Gore in Texas, I expect big things. Luzardo was very good last year. Framber is like an ace. That's a top five I have a lot of confidence in. I guess I forgot to do this for the other team. Let's look. Jeremiah doesn't have like an exceptionally large green section, but his section of orangish yellow guys, I'm assuming you all know what I mean when I'm saying this. The depth appears to be there. It's a deep team, maybe not the most top-heavy team. Oh, wait. That was Jeremiah, yes, but we're talking about Brad now. Sorry. Brad, a little bit bigger green section. And pretty good depth, too. The top-end talent skews enough. I like Brad's team a little bit more than I did for Jeremiah, definitely for Maffey. Let's look at Casey. In fact, here he is. The number 1 player in the game, the number 16 player in the game. 44, 79, 83, 94. So 6 of the top 100. That is kind of average, I guess. If you look kind of left and right, French has 4 top 30. Brad has 4 top 44. Maffey has 4 top 40. Casey basically has 3 top 44. I mean, we're in the ballpark at least. Let's look at the team. Yotani Shogunate. Augustin Ramirez, Kazuma Akamoto, Munetaka Murakami, Adamas Correa, Laureano Cruz, Carroll, Hernandez, Abreu, Shohei. Castellanos, bench doesn't have a ton there. I don't see the obvious category that he's going for. Decent amount of steals. Power probably will be middle of the pack. It's not bad power, I guess, but you have Otani, and he's the only one that looks really strong. No, never mind. Yeah, the offense doesn't look too sharp to me. And I'm looking at the staff now. Flaherty, Webb, Giolito, Keller, Littell, Toll, Ludolo, and Strider both on the. That's tough news. Okay, Ludolo not out for long. I don't know if Strider has a timeline, but Webb is awesome. We all know Webb is awesome. Jack Flaherty had a pretty good year last year. I'm seeing a lot of question marks after that until even Strider and Lodolo wouldn't call them bankable assets. I would say I'm just not too high on this team, and it sucks. I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to say likely to miss playoffs. I know this was supposed to be the year, Casey, so I apologize if this is a crushing blow to your spirits. I just don't see enough to claim that you're in like strong position based on what I've seen there. French has Cal Raleigh, Freddie Freeman, Marcus Semien, McMahon, Swanson. I wonder if McMahon's only in because he's playing. Mike Trout on the bench. Connor Griffin, such an early pick. I frankly, when you picked Connor Griffin in the third, I thought you wasted the pick because he certainly would have been available a couple rounds later. But that's not the French way. The French way isn't let me wait around and just hope I get my guy. The French way is go take him. I get it, and I respect that about you. That's why I lose out on players that I want way more often than I'm sure than you do. But Cal, Freddie, Semien, I'm seeing Wood, Judge, Acuna. It's kind of studs and duds. We know you traded a few picks in the pursuit of moving up, so you're just going really total studs and duds. Between 32, 31, 53, 26, 28, 44 home runs, you should be really good in home runs. With home runs come a lot of RBIs usually and high slugging. And sometimes walks. Your walks, you have 4 exceptional high walk guys over 80. Man, several of these dudes score a lot of runs. Several of them score very few. I expect your offense to be really formidable. Your average, I don't know what is going to happen. You're probably going to be pretty bad at average. You have several really low average guys. And some of your strikeout numbers are crazy. You are going to suck at strikeouts. Like, don't even bother with Chase DeLauder. Hey, that 146 is not saving you from the McMahon, Berger, Judge, Stanton, and Cal, and Swanson. Yeah, and McLean, and Wood. You're so screwed in strikeouts, but who cares? You're going to hit a lot of bombs. Pitching wise, I know you embraced the offense, and the offense does look formidable, I would say. Where are your starters? Grant Holmes. I like Grant Holmes a lot, actually. I think that, he might only pitch at the beginning of the season because of an injury, but dude was so good last year. In spots. I guess he had a couple. He must have blown up a few games that I'm not aware of. Walked a lot of dudes. I really like him. Hit me up, French. I'll take him from you. Connolly Early, Bryce Elder, Jacob Lopez, Chad Patrick, Max Scherzer, Cam Schlittler, and Justin Verlander. Hunter Green coming way later. Dude, that is not good. That is 1 out of 5. If this was just based on your pitchers, you would be a no chance to make playoffs. Yet your batting is probably like a top tier contender, despite the strikeouts and stuff. I think that puts you maybe on the bubble. I'm not really sure what to do with that. Let's go to Bo, who was last year's postseason favorite. Our survey after the season was done said that Bo was the most likely to win this year. Drake Baldwin, I loved that pick. Nick Kurtz is awesome. Altuve, a nice high round pick. Matt Chapman, Bo Bichette, Michael Bush, Jorge Polanco, I really like that pick. Duran, Marcy, Anthony. Like, I have yet to find someone that I don't like. Chandler Simpson offers a lot of utility in the steals and the average. Caglianone. That one I could take or leave, but you have Kevin McGonigal that you could easily, like, Ivan Herrera. I think that offense looks great. Now, I haven't thought about how they synchronize with each other, I don't know that your home runs are going to be like top of the line. Your runs are actually a little lower than I would have expected to see based on just my like eye test real quick. You should knock a decent amount of guys in. The walks are pretty good too. Steals are fine. Your average maybe is a little bit up and down. The rest is kind of up and down. I like the names though, and maybe that means I'm biased. Maybe that's not a good thing. Some of the dudes are a little old as well, I suppose. But I think the offense looks good. And I love that you have Max Clark, Walker Jenkins, Quinn Matthews, and Brandon Sproat. Nolan McLean, Cole Reagans, Drew Rasmussen, Paul Skeens. That's a nice top four, assuming that's your top four. Schwellenbach, but he's done, right? Oh no, he's coming back second half. That was last year he missed. Ranger Suarez. There's so many minor leaguers. Gavin Williams. Yeah, I like the staff too. I do feel like this is a strong team. But you need more. Like you only have one, two, three, four. Ryan Nelson, don't mean to disrespect you. You were actually really good last year. But you have your issues. You might. I mean, you're going to have to basically just throw everybody you have to make your innings most weeks probably right now. That's so many minor leaguers on both sides of the ball. I feel like you're going to have to trade them in order to really make use of them because you got to go for it, man. You are a contender to me, just as prophesized, if that's the right word. Let's look at JW. We've got Kirk, Pasquantino, Keith, Bregman, Lindor, sensing a trend here. Not so much Keith. You guys seeing what I'm seeing, JW's first half of his lineup does not strike out and hit for a good average, all of them. And they drive the ball. I like what I'm seeing, which we should like what we're seeing. He spent almost all of his keepers on bats. We start getting now into like a weirdly inverse big strikeout guys, but just a few. Morel, Marsh, Reynolds, Soler, and Larnach. That's a bad outfield, I will say. Very bad. I mean, the ADP of 4 of the 5 of those dudes is over 360. There must be a bench dude that I'm forgetting. No, there is not. Drew Jones, someday. That outfield is much worse than I knew. He's got the bad version of Max Muncy also. That doesn't help. Well, the top half of the offense looks great, I think. The bottom half doesn't when I look at their ADP and when I look at their name. All things considered, that means your offense is going to be fine. If you can pick up outfield, which is the most plentiful position, you might be able to turn some of that around. You've got Mizurowski. Come back to the relievers. Cabrera, Kikuchi, Manaya, Ober, Singer. Not very many starters. So you're going to also probably be throwing everyone. But it's not a secret what you're doing. 38 saves, 28 saves, 25 saves, 37 saves. And with those comes some really great ratios. Edwin Diaz, Griffin Jacks, Andres Munoz, and Ryan Helsley are 4 locked and loaded, good quality closers that strike everyone out. I mean, look at the K per 9. Batting average against is not projected here, but those dudes have low batting average against. No one's just ripping Edwin Diaz left and right. 38 saves, over under for 38 saves on Edwin Diaz. I mean, couldn't he get 50 saves? That team's going to win 115 games. I like the relievers, obviously, and some of the holds guys. 25 saves and 20 holds. I forgot in Tampa, it's like a committee deal. Some of the holds guys are high quality as well. I think we're obviously going to see as much relief action as we can out of this team, which means the ratios should be quite dangerous. It's a bold strategy, basically targeting saves, holds, pretty much saying no way we're winning ERA, probably not walks either, or quality appearances. But saves, holds, Ks, home runs, batting average against, good luck. And on offense, there's enough talent there that I feel like that's going to be a team to scrap. I don't see it necessarily as a strong favorite over some of these other teams, but it's going to be very interesting to see how the strategy plays out. Let's look at Alex. Look JW in here too. Since they're pretty close to each other. JW with a solid green stint here, not as much as the teams around him, Ebo and Alex. And the depth kind of runs out kind of quick. But generally, relievers are pretty underappreciated, and that's where he spent a lot of his focus. So, kind of makes sense why the color scheme maybe doesn't look as favorable. Alex, on the other hand, has deep green running pretty far down the list. 9 players in the top 84. That's pretty crazy. Let's take a look at the actual roster. Langoliers, Harper, Terang, Suarez. That's a freaking awesome way to start. Ernie Clement, Josh Naylor, Brandon Lau, Bellinger. Really good team so far. Mangum, I don't know if that's like your best left fielder, but left field is pretty trashed right now. Adolis, Soderstrom, Friedel, who I really like, and Yastrzemski. Again, everyone's outfield seems, except for Maffey, he took all the outfielders. Everyone's outfield seems pretty weak. I think this might just be our new reality. There aren't enough starting outfielders to go around, which I personally am excited about. Top half of the offense looks very strong. We've got Logan Gilbert, Trevor Rogers, Christopher Sanchez. How many starters did I just miss? Ben Brown, Noah Cameron, Tidier Fuentes, Luis Heel, who's in the minors. Better pick up some starters, man. Like, you're not going to make 50 innings. I don't think. I mean, if you can get to 50 innings with just Gilbert, Rogers, Sanchez, Ben Brown, and Cameron, that'd probably be fine. Because those 3 dudes are good. Interesting. I am trying to think in my head, what are the differences on offense with what I just saw with JW? They're both pretty good offenses. I am seeing at least Logan Gilbert and Christopher Sanchez over here, and Trevor Rogers came off of a hell of a year. The relief pitching is not there in the same way as it was for JW. But Logan Gilbert and Christopher Sanchez, I mean, those are 2 top 45 guys. I'm inclined to give Alex a nod slightly above JW. Ballpark Franks. This is going to be a long video. Ben Rice, Sal Stewart, Jose Ramirez, Caminero. We know he has this big 4, right? Big 3, really. Jose Ramirez, Tatis, and Soto. Caminero fast approaching that, top 18 ADP. So you could kind of call it a big 4. The big 4 is terrifying, and they frankly, 3 of the big 3, they just do everything well, and that's why they're so hard to beat. That's why they're such a good core to build from. You kind of take it whichever direction you need to. Those dudes are set and forget. You never, ever take them out for any reason because they never hurt you in any way. Caminero adding 37 home runs on top of that. Pretty awesome. I will say he has absolutely no bench power, and so when I'm seeing like 4, 8, 11, 11, even with those 4 studs, this doesn't look like a team that could possibly be like great at home runs. Yeah, the RBI really isn't looking particularly high. Neither is the runs. They're good on steals. I'm not seeing reason to be terrified of this offense. And then on the pitching side, Hunter Brown is awesome. We think, pretty sure, right? Horton, Tatsuya Imai, Mike Burrows, Michael King, Shane Smith. There's definitely potential there. Not a single one of them is projected over 10K per 9. Max Meyer, Cavalli, Detmers. I mean, I have so much faith that Frank will figure something out on the waivers that I don't know what his team would have to look like for me to say I don't think he's at least on the bubble. But man, we're pretty even across the board, I would say so far. I'm not giving him like likely to make playoffs when all I really see are the big four and some weak ass guys, a couple guys with with maybe prospect status still that could blow up maybe, and pitching that I feel like has some serious question marks. I'm not going to say you're likely to make playoffs yet. Let's look at Nate. The seller, we will see. 31, 24, 27, 30, 31, 30, 19. Part of the process of doing this is you just have to kind of get used to what a 14 team league really looks like because every team I'm looking at, I'm like, this doesn't look like a lot of home runs, but every team I go through, I'm kind of like adjusting my bar down a little bit. Danny Jansen, Yandy Diaz, Ketel Marte, Barger, Seager, Chenul, Chisholm, Benj, Butler, Carpenter, Grisham, Sanchez. Again, it's like an outfield of Sanchez, Grisham, Carpenter, Butler, and Benj. It's like, is that all we got? And it is. My outfield also not good. We're not there yet, but the outfield is really weak. Interesting. I mean, I like Yandy Diaz, Ketel Marte, Seager, Addison Barger, I guess. People are kind of high on him. Jazz. Jordan's awesome. I'm mad you traded up to take him. May he get injured. I could say that because it's an Astro too. Let's look at the pitching. The pitching is where everyone should run and hide. He has Bubic, Ryan, Skubal, Wu, and Yamamoto. There's no question that is the best five. If you just let's just say four. I don't. Bubic isn't on that tier, but Ryan, Skubal, Wu, and Yamamoto. Fantastic. That is the best four pitcher combination in the league. The offense is fine. The pitching is really good. I want to say that Nate will make playoffs if he pushes for it. I'm going to preface with for Glenn and Duran, there is no way they will be anything better than a bubble team with what they had at their disposal, and they shouldn't be judged as if they were on a level playing field. Needs to definitely be taken into consideration. But when the question is, are they likely to make the playoffs or not? I highly suspect the best case scenario is bubble team. However, I mean, we're looking at Glenn first. I'm looking at the home runs. I'm like, this doesn't look that different from several of y'all's home run projections. The runs, though, are quite low. RBIs are very low. The walks are pretty low. so okay. Now, I was maybe starting off on a positive note, Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to spend a whole lot of time judging the merits of this team if it could or couldn't. I don't think this team will make the playoffs based on its offense. A lot of prospect picks, which I think was smart by Glenn because we are only here playing for the 2027 season, basically. If you are on the Texas Leaguer Drifters. Looking at the pitching, this is where you and Duran spent most of your assets. DeGrom, Evaldi, Rocker, Woodruff, Bieber. A lot of prospects. My goodness. You may have trouble meeting your innings if you get a single injury and you already have Bieber injured. Just keep your eye on your innings. You got 6 starters that are healthy, but without having like a full complement of relievers, you may run the risk. And obviously every loss you take puts you way farther out from a high draft pick. And there's also a penalty that I will assess to you. Theoretically, we've never actually had to do that, but please get your innings, even if it means you have to drop a prospect or a depth piece on offense to have enough starters to reliably do that. That is what I will expect. I think it's quite unlikely I'm just basically going to preemptively do this because if either of you make the playoffs, that means to me that you haven't sold your talent. And once you've sold your talent, you're starting with very little, and the good players you have, once they're sold, you'll have very little left. So Looking at Duran's team now. Similar, I would say. My gut says maybe like a tad better, maybe on offense. A couple prospects mixed in there as well. Gosman, Glasnow, Leiter, Lopez, Senga, Waka, Jared Jones, Musgrove, and Wheeler. I feel like you're going to get a nice return when you sell the majority of those guys, if you do. But again, I think the odds of y'all making the playoffs, I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think you should try or want to. Last but not least, we'll look at me. My power is not going to be enough to be good. I have a few dudes that are super weak, and no real bench, really no real bench at all. My runs are okay. I have a few that's like very low numbers mixed in with a few pretty good ones. Don't anticipate my RBIs to compete really at all. My walks are probably good, but not great. My steals look like they'll probably be on good, maybe great, because everyone kind of steals a little bit, and there's several that steal at a pretty good volume. The average looks solid. Slugging's going to be probably low-ish. My strikeouts are good for the most part. Pitching wise, Burns, Crochet, Gray, Imanaga, Peralta, Perez, Taj Bradley, Slade Sassoni, Jeffrey Springs. I think the group looks pretty good. I mean, ADP 105, 11, 102, 166, 55, 94. That's pretty good in a 14-team league. And I think this is the part of my roster that looks absolutely insane. But if Bryce Miller comes back, if Blake Snell comes back, if Justin Steele comes back, all by the end of the season, I think this roster pitching lineup is going to look very good. And I have a few relievers, five relievers on the IL as well. Probably got to have to cut some of them because I just don't have enough people. I think my offense is good enough in a few categories mixed with the pitching staff that's pretty good. I personally am going to label myself as a 4. And that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my playoff teams I have predicted. They will be me, Corey, Brad, Bo, Alex, and Nate, with one more spot. So either Frank, JW, French, or Jeremiah to take that final spot. Let's look at the total results now that I've posted mine. So for me, 5 people thought I was a bubble team. 5 people thought I was a contender. I'll take that. With Corey, someone thought won't make the playoffs. 5 people thought bubble team. 4 people thought Corey was a playoff team. I did. Maffey, 4 people thought not a playoff team. 4 people thought bubble. I think I was bubble. No, I think I was one of the not a playoff teams. I can't even remember. I just did this. Whatever. One person thought playoff team, and one person thought contender. I kind of want to know who. We'll just let it be a mystery. For Jeremiah, 6 people thought not a playoff team. 4 people thought bubble, but nobody thought was a likely playoff team. Let's reveal one at a time. Brad, 5 and 5, bubble and playoff team. Sounds good. The Otani Shogunate. I am interested in this one. This is the most confusing result so far. 2 teams said likely to miss playoffs, I think including me. 3 teams said bubble. 2 teams said playoff. And 3 teams said contender. Cool. For French, 1 team said likely to miss, 6 teams said bubble, 2 said playoffs, 1 said contender. For Bo, 1 team said 2 likely to miss. I'm not sure what you saw with that, personally. One team said bubble. 5 teams said playoff. 3 teams, including me, said contender. Dubsy Dimes, 3 teams said no. 6 teams said bubble. 1 team, just one, said playoff. For Alex, nobody didn't believe. 4 people thought bubble, 4 people thought contender. Playoffs. 2 people thought contender. For Frank, 2 people thought I was one of the bubbles. 5 people thought playoffs, and 3 people thought contender. For Nate, 4 people thought bubble, 5 people thought playoffs, 1 person thought contender. And then 4 people thought Glenn will not make playoffs, 4 people thought likely will miss, 2 people thought bubble. And then for Duran, the dispersion was just 1 off basically. So 5 people thought no chance, 3 people thought probably not, 2 people thought bubble. So if you want to look at how many contenders we had, I don't know about this Chris one. I'm hating on you a little bit right now, but is that you, Maffey? There's 1 for Maffey. Oh, so just the number of contenders based on our survey. We got Maffey, Casey, French, Bo, Alex, Frank, and Nate. 7 teams getting a vote for contender. It's pretty neat. I like that. That means that we do generally feel like there's some serious competition. If you want to talk about teams that got a vote for a playoff spot, Justin, Corey, Maffey, Brad, Casey, French, Bo, JW, Alex, Frank, and Nate. So the only teams that didn't, the only team was Jeremiah. JW with just the 1. And then, of course, Glenn and Duran. So, interesting. I have some work to do on the league doc. I will do that. Make sure you check your lineup and see if you have anything going on today. I went ahead and made some rivalry matchups. I think I put this in the chat already, but I'm playing Nate. Frank is playing Maffey, the Denton boys. Glenn and Duran are battling it out as the noobs. Alex and JW, the brothers-in-law. Bo and Brad. Anyway, they're rivals, I think. They're good friends, so I can say they're rivals, you know. Corey and Jeremiah, the old field ops rivals. And then you guys are not rivals in any way, but you're both too nice to have enemies, I guess. Or French, I could have picked you a rival, but their other rivals are already taken. So you and Casey are now officially rivals, and you do not like each other. All right, we're pushing 50 minutes. Hopefully that makes up for my sins of not having issued a video in a while. I believe we are done, and let's have a good season. There are no caps on the acquisitions for week 1 while we kind of shuffle through what we want our teams to look like. I will put the 5 transaction maximum back on for week 2. Schedule is set for the season. I don't think there's any other rules we need to really talk through right now. Goal is not to really talk about rules much moving forward. I do need to put a rules document together. It's been brought to my attention by many different people. And I agree, 100% I agree. I need to find some time to do that. I have not had much time to do anything lately, but I am expecting to have some more time coming up. As the baseball season begins, I will begin a rules document so that there can be less ambiguity about the rules that oftentimes might be spoken about at one winter meetings once, and I'm the only brain that keeps record of that. And if my brain is wrong, everyone else kind of suffers. So I'll put a doc together. Bear with me. I guess that's it. I will put out a video each week. We'll do our commissioner report like normal. That is the plan. So look for one of these again next week when I don't have a weird nasally voice from being sick. All right, see ya.